Good afternoon, everybody. Um, what a week this is going to be getting prepared for a great football team. Um, Mike Houston's done such a great job there. They are talented, well coached, fast, physical, um, and it's unique, really, now to be facing a head coach with so much experience against the option and a defensive coordinator with so much experience against the option. One, they've played Uh, they played an option team in the league for several years, but Mike was the head coach uh, at a school where they ran the option, and their defensive coordinator has been the defensive coordinator at two different schools where they ran the option. So they've got a lot of experience, and it's going to take a tremendous effort on our part to prepare both offensively and defensively, as well as on special teams to beat this really talented ECU team. I'm glad we're playing back at home again. It's nice to play here at home. It's a great crowd on Saturday. I was really proud of our guys and the effort that they put in, but it was awesome to come out there and be in front of a packed house. It's just our guys have earned that, and I know it fires them up to be able to come out in front of a crowd like that. So hopefully the crowd will be in our favor on Saturday. I know it's a sold out crowd, and I'm sure that East Carolina, who travels really well, will have a lot of fans here. So it should be a terrific atmosphere and a great opportunity for us to play another conference game and have the experience of playing in this great league. We're fortunate that we had an opportunity to join the league, and we know that East Carolina is one of the top teams in the league. So this really is a measure for us on where we stand in terms of the teams that are at the top of the American Athletic Conference.
Rich, hey, Coach Rich DeMarco, RB Radio. This offensive line, you've talked about it a lot this season, your offensive line, how they come together and everything. They're getting some national publicity here the last few weeks. You've had a lot of great offensive lines here, and I'm sure they've all been different. What words would you use to describe this one? What has set this group apart and giving it really their own name and their own style for your team?
What sets this one apart from others is healthy. They've remained healthy. We've started the same offensive line 6 games in a row, and they've been durable and just played really well together. There's been times where we've had some guys that our second team guys come in and take some reps, and they've really been able to continue to play as a unit, which is encouraging. That first unit of guys, I just think is playing particularly well together. They're physical and they're strong. I think Coach Hughes has done a really good job with that group and our team, but that group is a strong group. They're veteran players, and I think with success comes more confidence, and we've been able to run the football and do a good job at the line of scrimmage for creating some seams for our backs. We don't throw it a whole lot, but they've done a good job with protection when we have. And so I think they're just playing well, playing confident, and I really like that group of guys. And I think the offensive line is an important unit on every team, and ours really, I think, sets the tone for the temperament and personality of our team.
And Jeff, this past Saturday was a great crowd. This East Carolina game has been sold out for a long time. How much does knowing there's going to be a big crowd, how much does that energize you and the team for, every week is such a big deal?
I don't mean to downplay a crowd, but I think our team would go out in the parking lot and play hard and be excited about playing a game. That's just they love football, and I do too. And so any opportunity to play this game and to be a part of the competition that goes along with this game excites me. But there is an energy that comes when you're in a stadium that has a big crowd, and particularly when it's a crowd that's in your favor, you're playing at home and you got more fans than the other team. I think that's undeniable that competitors feed off of that energy, and that's not unique to football. So it's going to be great to be out there on Saturday and have a nice big crowd. I just hope we play well enough to give them something to cheer for, and so that's got to be our main focus, is just trying to execute and play well.
Thanks.
Connor, go ahead on Zoom.
We'll start with Joe Iacano.
Good afternoon, Coach Monken. Joe Iacano with GoBlackKnights.com. Congratulations on the win Saturday and on becoming bowl eligible. First question, you kind of mentioned it in your introduction. East Carolina has a really good run defense. It's kind of strength against strength with Army's #1 rushing offense. East Carolina's rush defense has given up 3.5 yards a carry, and that was even after you include Charlotte's 300 plus yards. So before that, probably even better. And like you mentioned, Coach Houston and the staff have some experience with the option, and they've had 2 weeks to prepare. So what does your offense need to do to continue producing the productivity they have through the first 6 games on Saturday?
Number one, I think we need to work really hard at not turning the ball over. We did that once earlier this year. It's one too many. So we got to hang on to the ball. It's hard to control a game on offense if you don't have the football. So we work really hard at that. We'll continue to do that this week. We place a great emphasis on it. We drill it, and hopefully our guys will do a good job with ball security. Number two is just talking about the offensive line. We've got to do a good job of blocking them at the line of scrimmage and creating some seams for our running backs. And that's going to be a challenge, obviously, with talented players and a well-coached team and a very prepared team. But those things matter. The securing the ball and getting them blocked up front, that will likely be two of the biggest factors in our ability to be able to move the chains and gain yards in the run game.
And second question is a non-football question. We've had 2 pretty intense hurricanes down here in the South the last month or so. And, I know the Jarinas and the Reeds are from Florida. I know you've got a lot of coaches on the staff with ties to South Carolina and the Carolinas. Everybody's family doing okay? How have you guys kind of handled that situation?
Well, we've got, and thanks for asking, we got several players on our team whose families were affected, were without power. Some still without power in Florida, but fortunately everybody's safe from the storm. Not all have complete homes to go back to, but they have places to go and a dry place to sleep, and we're thankful for that. That's a stressor for a lot of people right now, and no more so than the families that are affected and the people that are there. And when young men and women are off of college, that like so many of them are, and their families are affected, that has an impact on them every day, just how well they can focus and concentrate on their schoolwork, on their sports, their jobs that they have. It's a challenge for everybody, and we certainly feel for those that were affected, particularly those that had loved ones who lost their lives, and those lost their homes, lost their businesses. It's I can't imagine the anguish and the heartache that they're going through. So we certainly feel for them, and I'm just happy that the players that we have in our program and the families that are tied to this program are all safe and in a good place.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to John Charan.
Good afternoon, Coach. I know you emphasize the importance of winning the turnover battle, Could you talk a little bit about what the team's going to try to do to take advantage of the fact that your opponent has had quite a few interceptions this year?
Well, that's not something that we count on and say, well, they've had some interceptions, so we can just assume we're going to get some. Those are plays that need to be made. And some of those interceptions came off of tip balls and some situations where they had to throw it and they were really trying to press, maybe in the end of a game. And so, they're not all errant passes or he's not just chucking it to other team. There's other guys making plays, and there's defenders all over this country that are good at their jobs and good at what they do and find their ways, to intercept a pass. So we just want to play good defense, starting with being able to stop the run. That as I've said, week in and week out, is important in our program, to be able to run the ball and be able to stop the run. And then hopefully we can make him throw it on time. And that's perhaps the biggest challenge, is with a very talented and big physical offensive line like they have, is getting any sort of pressure on the quarterback to make him throw it on time. And so hopefully we can do that and be positioned in the secondary and at linebacker that we can contest some passes when the ball's in the air. So, we're practice this week and hope that we can play good enough defense that we're in position to make some plays.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go to Seth Mendelson.
Good afternoon, Coach. Congratulations on the victory and the 6-0 start. I got here late, so if somebody else asked this, I apologize. But what does the national ranking have? What kind of impact does it have on the overall program? Not necessarily on the team this year, but the West Point program. You're getting a lot of positive publicity over the last, certainly the last 2-3 days and the last week or two, as Army moved up in the rankings and certainly joined the rankings this week. So how does it impact the overall program going forward? What do you think?
I think everybody that in the country that's ranked in the national rankings, it's a source of pride. It really doesn't matter where we're ranked at this point anyway. It only matters where a team is ranked at the very end. So we're just striving to be the best team that we can be week in and week out. But certainly it's a source of pride for our academy, for the United States Army, for our fans, for our players and their families. It's great to be able to say, oh, we're ranked in the top 25, but it doesn't affect the game, obviously. So I wish it did. I wish they gave us some a head start on some points because of it, but it doesn't work that way. So proud of the guys for what they've done to this point. And we're proud to be able to represent this great academy, which this academy's been ranked in the top 25 since 1802. So it's a tremendous institution, and the degree programs here, the leadership that is taught here every year, every week, every day. The generations of incredible leaders have come out of this school. It's been a top 25 university for a long time. So I'm happy that we're able to represent this university and our men and women that serve in the Army in a positive way. And if being in the top 25, helps that pride, then I think that's great. And that's what we should do. We should strive to represent all those that we represent as well as we can.
Thank you. My second and final question. I had the opportunity to listen to the East Carolina coach talk about the upcoming game, and he seemed to break the Army down pretty well. I assume you have some twists in there that will hopefully set them off. Can you share anything, or what's the strategy? Since they had 2 weeks off, they had the week off. I'm sure you're going to try to go into the game looking a little bit different.
That certainly makes it a challenge. when a team has 2 weeks, not just from a schematic standpoint and all of the fundamentals and those kinds of things, but also the health of their team. It's a chance for their team to rest and recover and get healthy. And as I said, they've got some experience playing the option in 2 weeks to get prepared for it. So there's just a lot of catching up for us to do to be able to match what East Carolina's been able to put together from a game plan standpoint. And we can't manufacture 2 weeks, and we're not going to manufacture a new offense, defense, and special teams. What we do well, we're going to have to do, or what our bread and butter is, whatever that is, offensively, defensively, and the special teams. That's what we have to be best at, and practice those things and try to execute those as well as possible. Gimmicks don't win football games. Great execution of the fundamentals and the assignments and effort and playing physical, that's what wins football games. So we're going to try to do that as well as we can and hope it's good enough.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. We need it.
We'll go to Ken McMillan.
Hey, Jeff. I see on the depth chart that Ty Robinson is listed as a number 2 teamer right now. What's his status? Can you honestly expect from him after missing so many games?
Well, keep your fingers crossed. We're hoping that he'll be available and ready. He's getting very close, as I've been saying, and he hasn't played football since last season. So I don't know what to expect. I know when he finally does play, if it's this week, that he's going to play really hard. He's going to play his very best. He's going to give a great effort, and he's going to be super positive in terms of his attitude and just, I think, what he'll bring to everybody else. Our players will be excited to have him back out there. They love Tyrell, and he loves his team. He loves playing football. So hopefully it'll be this week, and we'll see.
I don't want to downplay, but can we expect the same Ty Robinson that we've been accustomed to seeing with the nature of his injuries?
Only time will tell. It's hard to say. There are a lot of players that come back from this injury that are as good or better than they've ever been. And there's some that come back from injuries like that aren't the same and don't ever look like themselves what they were before. But like I said, I hope that he's able to play at a level that he feels competitive. Nothing's more frustrating for an athlete than to not have a body that works like you want it to. So I hope for him that it will, and I know we'll get his very best effort, and that's all I care about is him going out there and trying his hardest and giving it his all, and I think if he'll do that, our trainers and our medical staff, they're going to make sure that he's healthy enough to be able to play and that he's ready. If he's not ready, they won't let him play, and that's the right decision, and it's their decision and his. So when he goes out there, there's going to be confidence, both with our medical team as well as T-Rob, that he can do it. And I know that regardless of what he looks like physically, he's going to help our football team just because of who he is and his leadership and his effort.
And last one on Ty. I know you guys love every player in the program and you support even the guys that we hardly know their names, but can you just talk about the rallying of support behind T-Rob and keeping him boosted all this time and what he does for you guys to make a return like this?
That's the remarkable thing about T-Rob is nobody had to boost him up. He's continued to boost up people around him, and just his attitude and his energy, his leadership. It's really hard as a player that's injured to remain in a leadership position, to provide positive leadership for the guys on the team when you're not out there in the huddle and you're not taking reps. But he's got a personality. He's certainly earned the respect of everybody in this program that he's been able to do that. And just a special young man, dynamic leader. And we've all seen what he can do on a football field, what he's done in his career here. And so hopefully we'll see some more plays out of him as a football player as well.
Just to look at special teams, I think it was Brunson who kind of had a little bobble on a punt reception the other day. And then can you tell us about the PAT fake?
So he did. He kind of bobbled that ball. That continues to be a little bit agonizing to watch that ball go in the air, hoping we catch it. The PAT fake, frankly, we didn't execute it like we were supposed to. We one player didn't block the player that he was supposed to block. And things happen fast out there and guys make mistakes. It's not the only mental error or assignment error that we had on the day. We had plenty, and that happens throughout a game. But on that one, it was glaring just because the guy that he was supposed to block ran right through and took the guy that had the ball. So we sometimes I think it's important to do that, to one, to stretch a lead. It makes it a different game for the opponent. They've got decisions to make going forward when they score a touchdown. You're kind of a point off if you can get the 2-point conversion. So sometimes they have to make a decision about whether they're going to go for 2 or kick the extra point and still be down 1 in situations like that.
Was that a gut feeling, by the way, Jeff, or did you plan that well before the game?
It's not necessarily a gut feeling. It's more calculated on here's what we want to do at this point in the game, depending on the score. And so, I just felt like that was a good time to do that. We were ahead 10, and obviously kicking the ball would put us up 11, and it's hard to make a 2-point conversion. There's almost never a 50-50 chance. Usually the analytics will tell you that it's less than a 50% chance that you're going to make a 2-point conversion. So that's a challenge in itself. But to go up 12, that takes the 2-point conversion for the other team out of it. Now they got to score 2 touchdowns. So I just felt like it was the right time.
Hey, just back to T-Rob for a second. Would you consider him for special teams right now or no?
I'd consider him for everything that we do on offense or special teams if he's healthy.
Okay. And then Bryson winning AAC Offensive MVP again this week. Just some quick thoughts on Bryson and doing this.
Just proud of him. He's really having a good season. He's doing a great job with leadership. Obviously, a really good job running the football, throwing the football. Has made a lot of plays on his feet and with his arm, and playing like a veteran senior quarterback should. So I'm glad to see him having the success because it's helping our football team, and also happy to see him being recognized for the accomplishments and the just the performances that he's had.
And last one, Jeff, you mentioned how much respect you have for ECU and the way they're playing right now. Just curious, are you feeling more comfortable playing an ECU here in week 7 versus if you had played them in week 1 or 2? Has your team built an experience and a confidence that makes you feel, yeah, we can handle these guys?
Oh, I don't know if we can handle these guys.
I'm not saying manhandle, I'm just saying
I don't know if I don't know if it makes any difference if we played them in week 1 or now in week or game 7. I know they're a hard team to play, and I'd have been losing sleep at night in week 1 like I'm losing sleep at night right now, worried about trying to defend them, worried about how they'll defend us, their athleticism, their size, their speed, and their ability to be prepared. Mike's a great coach. He's got a terrific staff, and this is certainly our biggest test and our toughest game of the year so far.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.